Today our topic is the art of getting back up after failing. Life is not a straight path. It is full of ups and downs, twists and turns. No matter how hard we try, we will face failure at some point. But failure is not the end. It is just a part of the journey. The real challenge is not avoiding failure, but learning how to rise after we fall. This is what makes us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Let's talk about why failure is not something to fear, how to handle it, and how to turn it into a stepping stone for success. First, let's understand what failure really is. Failure is not a person, it is an event. It is something that happens, not who you are. When you fail, it doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means that something didn't go as planned. Think of it like this. If you are learning to ride a bike and you fall, does that mean you will never learn to ride? No, Tati. It just means you need to try again. Failure is feedback. It shows you what doesn't work so you can adjust and try a different approach. The key is to not take it personally. Separate your self-worth from the outcome. You are still valuable, capable, and deserving, even when things don't go your way. Now, let's talk about how to handle failure emotionally. When you fail, it's normal to feel disappointed, frustrated, or even sad. These emotions are valid, and it's okay to feel them. But don't let them control you. Acknowledge your feelings, but don't dwell on them too long. Emotions are like waves. They come and go. If you stay stuck in negative emotions, it will only make it harder to move forward. Instead, focus on what you can learn from the experience. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do differently next time? This shifts your mindset from blaming yourself to finding solutions. Remember, every great person in history has failed at some point. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a success. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. One of the most important skills in life is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So how do you build resilience? Start by changing your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, see it as a detour. It's just a temporary obstacle, not the end of the road. Next, focus on what you can control. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Take responsibility for your actions, but don't blame yourself for things outside your control. Another way to build resilience is to stay connected to your purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is your bigger goal? When you have a clear sense of purpose, setbacks feel smaller because you know you're working towards something meaningful. Let's talk about Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that can help us deal with failure. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. The Stoics believe that external events are not inherently good or bad. It's our judgment of them that makes them so. For example, losing a job might feel like a disaster, but it could also be an opportunity to find something better. The Stoic approach is to accept what happens without letting it disturb your inner peace. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't let external events control your emotions. You stay calm, think clearly, and take action based on reason, not fear or anger. Stoicism also teaches us to practice gratitude. Even in difficult times, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude helps us stay positive and focused on what we have, rather than what we've lost. Another important aspect of getting back up after failing is self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself the way you would treat a friend who is going through a tough time. Don't beat yourself up for making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. Instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," say, "I made a mistake, and I'll learn from it." Self-compassion helps you recover faster, because it reduces the shame and guilt that often come with failure. It also helps you stay motivated. When you're kind to yourself, you're more likely to keep trying, even when things are hard. Let's also talk about the importance of persistence. Success is not about never failing. It's about never giving up. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often persistence. When you fail, it's easy to feel like giving up, but that's when you need to keep going the most. Think of failure as a test of your commitment. Are you willing to keep trying, even when it's hard? Are you willing to put in the effort, even when you don't see immediate results? Persistence is what turns failure into success. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when the road is tough. One practical way to get back up after failing is to set small, achievable goals. When you're feeling down, big goals can feel overwhelming. Break them down into smaller steps. Focus on what you can do today, right now. For example, if you failed at a project, don't try to fix everything at once. Start with one small improvement. Celebrate each small win, no matter how small. This builds momentum and helps you regain confidence. Over time, these small steps will add up to big progress. Another tip is to surround yourself with supportive people. When you're dealing with failure, it's easy to feel alone. But you don't have to go through it by yourself. Talk to friends, family, or mentors who can offer encouragement and advice. Sometimes, just knowing that someone believes in you can make a big difference. Also, avoid people who bring you down or make you feel worse about yourself. Surround yourself with positivity and support. Finally, remember that failure is not the end of the story. It's just one chapter. Your life is a book with many chapters, and each one brings new opportunities. Every time you fail, you have a chance to start again. You have a chance to grow, learn, and become better. Failure is not something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace. It's a teacher, a guide, and a stepping stone on the path to success. In conclusion, the art of getting back up after failing is about resilience, perspective, and persistence. It's about seeing failure as feedback, not as a final judgment. It's about staying calm, focused, and kind to yourself, even when things don't go as planned. It's about setting small goals, seeking support, and never giving up. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every time you fall, you have a chance to rise stronger and wiser. So don't be afraid of failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Life is not about avoiding the falls. It's about getting back up and continuing the journey. You have the strength, the courage, and the resilience to do it. Keep going, and you will succeed.